Welcome to the Missouri Valley Football Teleconference. My name is Melissa, and I will be your conference operator today. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. If you would like to ask a question, please press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you'd like to withdraw your question, press the pound key. Thank you all. Now I'd like to turn the call to Mike Kern.
Thanks, Melissa. Let's get started with our first coach on the call. It's Youngstown State's Eric Wolford. Youngstown State playing at Missouri State. The game features 2 ranked teams. It's one of 3 games like that this weekend with ranked playing ranked in league play. Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Let's talk about the Bears. They're off to a good start as your team, 3-1. Both teams are 3-1 after non-conference play. Preview the game for us, and then we'll open it up for some questions.
Well, Coach Allen's got those guys playing really well. They're playing at a high level. Thing that sticks out to me is they've outscored their opponents by 55 points in the second half. They're averaging about 32 points a game. Really efficient on offense. They're possessing the football. I think they're averaging almost 33 minutes a game there. And got a talented quarterback in Kiera Harris and really talented receiver in Julian Burton. And they got some other compliments around those guys. Good offensive line. So they got a good football team. Always play well on defense. Very active with Dylan Cole, Jerry Springer. So they've got a good football team. They got a kicker that's made some big kicks in games. Obviously in the Central Arkansas game, made a 53-yard game winner there at the end of the game. So they got a confident group there, and deservedly so.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go ahead and open it up now for questions from the media for Coach Eric Wolford.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Your first question comes from the line of Lindell, Springfield News.
Coach, your quarterback, Dante Nania, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he had some big shoes to fill this year. Can you talk about how he's performed for you so far?
No, he's done really well. We were kind of anxious to see what we'd have at quarterback. Him and Ricky Davis have both stepped in and, done some good things along with the freshman Hunter Wells, but Dante's our guy. He realizes that he has a lot of players around him and he needs to distribute the ball. That's one of the good things is if you got some players around him, there's not as much pressure on the quarterback to try to win the game for you.
You talk about Missouri State's ability to outscore folks in the second half. What does a team need to do in order to make that happen? I mean, is it a physicality type thing, or is it time of possession type thing? What's the key to doing that?
Well, I think the first thing is they obviously make some good second half adjustments from what they were doing in the first half, and that's a sign of a good coaching staff. Secondly, is they have a really good offensive line that's able to physically wear you out, come the second half, and I see that. And they got some playmakers, They do a great job of getting the ball to their playmakers, and when they're in a time of need, they get the ball in those guys' hands so they can make plays and obviously keep the chains moving or get big plays or score.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Again, to ask an audio question, please press star 1.
Coach, our next question is from Jim Powers of the Valley Radio Report.
Coach, how are you?
I'm good, Coach Powers. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know what? Talk a little bit about the defense. And you mentioned a little bit ago about Missouri State's offense, putting up some very good numbers throughout their first part of the year. Talk about what your defense and the way they've grown up over their first 4 games.
Well, the thing is we replaced all the linebackers. We lost some guys there, and then in some of our games this year, we had 4 or 5 DBs out at different times of the game. So we've developed some depth there. We're in a little stretch there with Duquesne and Butler where we had 3 or 4 starters out. And, that was a chance for us to develop some depth there, get those guys in play. But I really like what Jamie Bryant's done. he simplified some things for our guys, so they're able to play fast. Our defensive line's been disruptive and been able to get some pressure on the quarterback. You know, it's hard to get sacks these days because people are getting rid of the ball, but I like the way those kids have come together.
Outstanding. So thanks so much. We'll see you Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Coach, that wraps it up for you. Thanks for your time today. Good luck this weekend in Missouri State.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Wolf. Let's get next to our next coach on the line with us. Is Coach Mark Farley of Northern Iowa. The Panthers playing at Indiana State for the first time in a couple of years. Those two teams facing each other after not playing since 2011. Both teams are ranked in the top 25. The Panthers clocking in at number 10. Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very good.
Good. Let's talk about Indiana State. What do you see when you're looking at them and preparing for them on film?
I think they're playing very well. They had some big wins, and they've beaten two really good football teams in Ball State and Liberty. So I think offense and defense are playing very well right now.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go ahead and open it up now for some questions for you from the media. Questions for Coach Mark Farley.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Your first question comes from the line of Jeff Kopak, Fargo Forum.
Hey, Mark, wonder for comparison's sake, there's more ranked teams now than perhaps there was teams in the old Gateway back in the day. What's changed over the years, in your opinion?
The ranked teams in our league, you mean?
Oh, yeah, there's 8 ranked teams. What was there, maybe 8 teams in the Gateway?
Yeah, originally back when it was the Gateway, we started with 4, I think, at one time. And so, but you go back to those days. I think the biggest thing that's changed is, the quality of talent is so much more magnified. I think on everybody's football team. I think there's no question the emphasis of football at these schools is strong because everybody's got a quality program. You have facilities are getting better and better at all these schools. When you look at what South Dakota State's done and Illinois State and Southern Illinois, I think facilities have risen, and thus recruiting and the type of player that's on the field right now is more quality. And I've always thought it was great coaching in this league. So I think those things and the emphasis on football at these universities and the strength of our conference is really, became something that we're all looking at right now.
Okay, thanks.
Again, to ask Coach a question, please press star 1.
Coach, that was your final question. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks.
Good luck this Saturday. Hold for just a second until Coach Mike Sanford joins us. Indiana State, of course, hosting Northern Iowa this Saturday, and Terre Haute Sycamore is coming off of a ranked win against Liberty, and are ranked themselves for the first time since 2012. We do have Coach Mike Sanford of Indiana State with us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Congratulations on your win against Liberty. Very impressive. I was able to watch it on ESPN3 and follow the impressive victory that you had against the Flames this past Saturday.
Yeah, it was an exciting win. I think our guys played very hard, and we believed we were going to win. And Liberty is a good football team. We knew they were going to be good on film, and then when we saw them in person, they're a good-looking team, and they're an impressive team, and it was a good win. We're excited about it, and now we have the opportunity to open up the Missouri Valley Conference schedule this week against Northern Iowa.
One of the talent on the broadcast on Saturdays said, I'm not sure what Mike Parrish is majoring in, but he should be a surgeon with of his precision passing. And he was excellent again, earning National Player of the Week honors. Talk about how he has played so far this year and what a difference it makes to have a healthy quarterback and some receivers to throw to.
Yeah, Mike Parrish is playing very well. He's making good decisions. He's accurate. He's protecting the football. He's leading our team very well. He was with us last year, but we were in our first year. I think we were kind of not sure what his talents were, and I think we kind of didn't know our team very well. And at the time, we had a lot of new receivers that were injured or had a variety of different issues. And I think we've a year later, our receiving corps is a very competitive group. Gary Owens is an outstanding player. Rob Tanyan, who played quarterback for us in some situations last year, has moved to receiver, and he's playing very well. Keani Harris has made a lot of plays. I mean, we've got really good group of receivers that are getting better all the time. That's a good thing. We need to improve. We need to keep getting better, because we're getting into a very, very difficult time of the schedule, especially this week against Northern Iowa.
Thanks, Mike. Let's go ahead and open it up now for some questions for you from the media. Questions for Coach Mike Sanford.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1.
Coach, our first question comes from Jim Powers of the Valley Football Radio Report.
Okay.
Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Everybody's been talking about the offense for the Sycamores. I want to talk about the defense and just how extremely well and disciplined they played throughout the first part of the season.
Yeah, our defense is playing well. The biggest thing that I would say that we've done is we've gotten turnovers or takeaways on defense. We got 4 this last weekend against Liberty, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries. DeJuan Lang, our corner, had 2 interceptions, played very well, and we're putting a big emphasis on getting turnovers. And then the other part of that, that's very important about our defense is stopping the run. We felt like we needed to stop the run against Liberty to force them to be a one-dimensional team, and we held them to 33 yards rushing, which is very good, and then we were able to make some plays against them. Now they're good. I mean they got a good quarterback and good receivers, but we were able to, as the game went on, we were able to get some interceptions and get some hits on the quarterback.
Outstanding, Coach. Thanks so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And of course, you've seen it, Mike, but I'm not sure anybody else has seen it. But Connor Underwood added to the Buck Buchanan Award watch list, one of 20 players who are finalists for the best player in the FCS from the defensive side of the ball.
Yes, and I didn't mention him, and he played outstanding this last weekend. He's I think he's tied for the league lead for tackles for a loss right now, and he's an outstanding pass rusher, but he's also a really good run defender too. So he's a really good combination player, and I'm glad he's a Sycamore.
Thanks, Coach. We do have another question in the queue for you, so we'll get to that right now, Melissa.
Your next question comes from the line of Jim Sullivan, Waterloo Courier.
Underwood, is he related to the Underwood that was at Illinois State?
He is, yes.
Okay.
That is Colton Underwood is his brother that was a senior last year. And by the way, Colton was just picked up again by the San Diego Chargers. He was signed by them as a free agent, cut for a period of time, and then he was signed by them into the practice squad. Connor just told me that. But yes, Connor is his younger brother, and obviously a very talented football family.
You have not seen Northern Iowa in person, of course, and the program hasn't played the Panthers since 2011. Does that make preparing for them any more complicated, or is it no factor at all?
Well, it is complicated because we've seen them, obviously last year we saw them on tape versus common opponents, during the course of the year, but we have not seen them play live. What I see on tape, I'm very impressed with. On the offensive side of the ball, I think David Johnson is an outstanding player, big, fast, athletic, threat as a runner and as a pass receiver. Sawyer Cole Morgan as a quarterback is really playing well, right there with our quarterback, Mike Parrish, statistically. And then on defense, I really, there's some really good players on defense. I tend to watch a little bit more defense because of my offensive background. I'm in game planning with the offensive staff, and I'm very impressed with the defensive line. I think their defensive line is a FBS level defensive line. I think Jake Farley, the linebacker, is a really good player, and I think their corners are very good.
Hey, Coach, thanks very much.
Okay.
Again, to ask Coach a question, please press star 1.
Mike, that was your final question. Thank you for your time. Good luck against Northern Iowa this weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Brock's back of Illinois State joins us. Illinois State hosting South Dakota State in another matchup between two ranked teams. There are 3 of those this weekend. That does set a record for league ranked versus ranked during the same week, as Illinois State is number 22, South Dakota State number 9. Morning, Brock.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Let's talk about South Dakota State. Certainly their headliner is Zach Zenner, but they've got a lot of other weapons on offense and on defense. But preview the game for us, and then we'll open it up for some questions.
No problem. Hey, I wanted to first off apologize for not being able to be on last week. We had an issue come up. I had it need my immediate attention. I wanted to tell, or publicly say congratulations to Coach Ticklemire a week ago, but this is probably more apropos since we're playing him this week. But I want to congratulate him on becoming the all-time leader in wins at South Dakota State. That's quite a milestone. I mean, he's well-deserving. But a great program, a football team we obviously have a deep respect for. When I, came in the league, 6 years ago, they were always very, very well coached. We haven't played them for 2 years, but it really hasn't changed much there. They're the same well-coached team. We know they're very physical. They have a tremendous running back. Obviously one of the best that's ever played in our league, and always play very, very tough defense, and just a very sound team in every aspect. So we're going to have to play very, very good, a lot better than we did last week to have a chance to win. But this is going to be a very good game. This is why we play college football, and this is what our league's all about. So these are 2 good teams that are going to be ready to play.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go ahead and open it up now for some questions for you from the media. Questions for Coach Brocksback.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Your first question comes from the line of Terry Vanderbeek, Argus Leader Media.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. You mentioned that the Jacks haven't changed a lot since you've seen them, and that's one of the hallmarks of their program. How about for you guys? What's maybe different, since 2011?
We've changed. Like they have too. We've changed quite a few. There's quite a few guys that aren't here anymore that played in 11. We are a little different under center. Our quarterback's got a little bit different style of play. Probably maybe in certain spaces a little faster than we've been back in 11. But we had some fast guys there too. But but same probably the same. Calling card on defense. We like to play, as hard and fast and tough and physical as we can. Much like South Dakota State and North Dakota State, all the great defenses in our league. There's a ton of them. So I don't think we've changed a whole lot there. Our players have changed a little bit, and there's a different guy here and there, and some guys a little better, some guys maybe not quite as good. So that's where we're at. We're a little bit more. I'm just comparing a year ago. You can see us play a year ago. We're a little more. We've been so far a little more explosive offensively than we were a year ago. So that's been a little different than we were a year ago. But that's where we're at.
Sure. And what's the short version of how you guys ended up with Trey?
We are. we have a lot of connections in the city of Indianapolis. Obviously, I spent 22 years of my life in Indiana. I grew up in Illinois, but I coached at Purdue, and I played there and coached there. So I have, and we have a couple coaches on my staff from Indiana, at least one that's from Indiana. They played for me at Purdue. Two that played for me at Purdue, and so that connection helped through the high school coaches and all that. So kind of kept track of them and heard he wanted to leave and contacted us, and that's kind of how it went. It was pretty simple. We tried to recruit him a couple years back, but they obviously didn't have much of a shot then, and then got him the second time around.
And last thing, you guys obviously have put some really impressive numbers on both sides of the ball. But as you referenced, the game changes now that you're getting in league play. What are your thoughts, though, on the impressive things you've done so far? What do you feel is good enough that can hold up, relatively speaking, within the Valley versus, a team that might be overmatched by you?
That's a good question, because you really don't, particularly offensively, you really don't know, until you, I do have an idea, but until we face a Valley defense that's at the caliber of South Dakota State, you don't really know, and we were pretty balanced last week, but that was out of, because we could be, and that'd be nice to carry that over into Valley play. I don't think there's a coach you talk about or talk with in the Valley would say anything different than that you'd want to be balanced offensively if you could. But we understand I'm a defensive coach by trade, and defensive coaches are going to take away what you do well and force you to play left-handed, so to speak, and force somebody else to win the game for you. So that's just kind of where we have to be now, and see how we're going to be defended, and try to take what the defense gives us if we can. And defensively, we're kind of a group that's maybe not quite as talented as it was in 11 compared to 11 comparison, but kind of tougher group and play really hard. We're like a bunch of junkyard dogs or a bunch of mutts. It's like a bunch of mutts. They just play really hard and just tough kids, and so that's kind of where we're at on defense. And special teams, we got veteran kickers and punters, and we're a little better there than we've been in the past. So that's just it. More experience probably than we were last year, but 11 is it's kind of a different team we had in 11.
Sure. Very good. Thanks for that. You bet.
The next question comes from the line of Todd Hefferman, Southern Illinoisans newspaper.
Hey, Brock, I know it was kind of beyond your control to lose the FBS game, but did you always take those games as a good evaluation period for your team, or was that just?
No, I think it's great. I was a little jealous of Dale getting a shot at my alma mater. I was hoping we would get that shot. I was disappointed we lost our FBS game, but that's just the way it is. We got bought out, and we had to go find a game this year. It is fun. I think like I said, but I don't know if I played an FBS team that has been more physical than the top flight teams or our teams in the Missouri Valley. This year there isn't a team on our schedule that can't beat us. Every team we play, we can get beat, and if we don't play well, and I don't think I've ever been in a league that way. So I think our conference, the Oregon range and all that, it reached our conference to ahead of the MAC, for example, and just I think from top to bottom, this league is a Division I league, an FBS league, in my opinion. So it's a fun, absolutely it is. And do you miss it? Yeah, we're back in that business next year. We play at University of Iowa, and we'll see how we stack up. But our league, you get challenged every single Saturday once you get in this conference, as we all know. So I think those questions will be answered here pretty quickly.
Thanks.
You bet.
Coach, that was your final question. Thank you for your time this morning. Good luck against the Jackrabbits.
All right.
Saturday.
Thanks for having me on. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mark. All right. Coach Bob Nielsen of Western Illinois is next on the line with us. Western Illinois playing North Dakota State, the top-ranked Bison coming to Macomb. Teams haven't faced each other in a couple of years. But, Bob, tell us what you see when you look at North Dakota State.
Well, you see the number one team in the country, and they play like that. They extremely well coached, great personnel, really don't have any weaknesses, And you look at how they played so far this year. They've been an outstanding football team, and we certainly understand how good they are.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go ahead and open it up for some questions from the media for you. Questions for Coach Bob Nielsen.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Your first question comes from the line of Scott Howland, McDonough County Voice.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Through one valley, I know it's only been one valley game, but I know that first game is something you can really learn a lot about your team, especially based on you guys played in the first 4 games. So now that you've kind of played a game in conference and seen some film, what did you learn about your team from last Saturday night?
Well, we're competitive, but we can't. We got to play more consistently. Same thing I talked about in the 2 Big Ten games. We were competitive particularly in the first half against Wisconsin, and really competitive the entire game against Northwestern, and we played really well. Had the lead at halftime and at Southern, and then we just didn't play as well in the second half. Give Southern credit, made a couple plays in the kicking game that hurt us field position wise, but we had opportunities where we didn't convert. Can't fumble the ball at the 1-yard line. Do things like that and beat teams in this league because this league's too good.
And is there anything that you've noticed or maybe pinpointed about the offense kind of having those second half struggles, or is it just a case of just a misplay here or there, or missed opportunity here or there, and it's not really anything in particular?
Well, I think a couple of things. Number one, we're still a really young football team offensively, and we've got to figure out how to win. By that meaning that at critical times, you've got to be that much tougher and that much better. And we've struggled when we've become one-dimensional, and trying to keep balance offensively is really an important thing. And so from that standpoint, that will be the challenge this week, because North Dakota State, defensively is one of the best, if not the best in the country, and so the challenge is to try to stay on schedule in such a way that they don't limit you and what you can do.
Well, Coach, thank you very much.
Your next question comes from the line of Jeff Kolpak, Fargo Forum.
Are you building Western in the same manner that you built Duluth?
Well, trying to, Jeff. We want to do it. Building it the right way. And guys that are going to be invested in the program over the long haul. We've redshirted a tremendous number of players a year ago. Redshirting another big group of guys this year. From a standpoint of what we do, we're different. Right now offensively, and some of that is personnel related, and some of that is just the way that we feel that we can best try to move the football offensively. But I think in terms of philosophically and the kind of people and that we're trying to bring into our program to build it in such a way where we can be consistent is the same goal that when I took over at Duluth. We're just in a little different situation here, and obviously in a much tougher league to do that.
Yeah, Duluth, I don't think you ever had to play guarantee games. Do you have a budget to do it there?
No, I think it was the other way around, actually. I think we were actually paying people to come in there. So, no, I mean, it is. This is a great league. And I knew it coming in. And I knew we had a lot of work to do here at Western. But you just, the quality, and I just heard Coach Stack talk about it. I mean, the quality of teams in this league and how well you have to play to get a win in this league is really unique. You just don't see that in college football from from top to bottom, and that's what makes it challenging. And as Brock said, it makes it fun too. Although it's a lot more fun when you win.
I'm guessing you go head-to-head, Bob, with recruiting with NDSU where, Wisconsin, anywhere else?
Yeah, we're still working Wisconsin. We overlap a lot in Wisconsin. Even in Iowa and to a certain extent in Illinois, we run into them. And successful programs have a big reach recruiting, but we're certainly after the same types of quality student athletes.
And I'm guessing you're building. Is there a model that you're building your program after, particularly?
Well,
style of play, I guess, is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, what we want to be is we want to eventually be a balanced offense. That can run the football when it needs to run the football. We're at the same time we want to be able to stretch defenses downfield. I think you have to be able to do that against the quality defenses. And the other thing is to be a team that plays really good defense. I look at the type, and we play a similar type of defense to what North Dakota State does, and 4-3 scheme, and some of the same coverages. And the thing that they've done so well there is made teams one-dimensional, and certainly philosophically that's the kind of defense that you want to play.
Okay, thank you. That was your final question. Thank you for your time this morning. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye. Dale Lennon of Southern Illinois joins us. The Salukis are at home this weekend playing South Dakota. SIU ranked number 16 in one poll, 15 in the other. South Dakota receiving votes in both polls, coming in at a 2-2 clip. Morning, Coach.
Morning, Mike.
Let's talk about South Dakota. What do you see when you're preparing for them, and how do you beat them on Saturday?
Well, South Dakota is a tough team. They're kind of a blue-collar mentality. They're going to work hard. They're not going to be intimidated no matter where they're playing. I'm very familiar with Coach Glenn and his coaching style and how well he'll have his guys motivated to play. And, it's going to be a battle, and just the way it is every week. But, I got a tremendous amount of respect for coaches at USD. This is our first time playing them here at SIU, so there's a big question mark. There's an unknown factor for a lot of people around here as far as what's coming into town. But I've coached against Coach Glenn before, and what he did at the North Central Conference and then out at the Big Sky. So I know that team will be ready to play.
Thanks, Dale. Let's open it up now for some questions for you. Questions from the media for Coach Dale Lennon.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Your first question comes from the line of Jeremy Hoke, Yanton Media.
Dale, good morning.
Morning.
One of those random stats we always look for was in the weekly notes about the way you guys outscored teams in the second half, and I think it was just the one touchdown after halftime. What goes into that? What's been the key to the Salukis having such a good success after halftime?
I get asked that question all the time, and it's a good stat to have. Naturally those numbers, that's the type of number you want to have in the second half. You want to play your best football in the third and fourth quarter. We got a veteran football team, so I think that's probably a little bit of what you're seeing is that as the game progresses, our guys kind of settle in to what we're doing. They do a good job recognizing what the other team is doing, and therefore, your level of play can increase as you go through the game. So, and I try not to get too caught up on stats or make too big of a deal of anything. You still need to play a four-quarter type game, and we've gone in a couple times behind at halftime. So, naturally, you get the question, why don't you play better in the first and second quarter? So, it's a four-quarter game, and that's just how you try to coach it.
Mm-hmm. And then, following up on South Dakota, what have you seen on film so far out of the Coyotes?
Well, I like their style of play. It's they're very they have kind of a toughness about them that I think is impressive. I am familiar with how well they're coached, and they're not going to be intimidated going to any place in the league, and that's going to carry them a long ways. And this is going to be one of those games where you got to be ready to hit and get hit, because there'll be a lot of that going on during the course of the evening. So we got to make sure our guys understand and respect what the University of South Dakota is going to bring to town.
All right, thanks, Dale.
Your next question comes from the line of Gary Argus Media.
As far as the last time USD played, not much mystery there. They were going to try to hammer it. How do you prepare your defense for that?
Well, I think you have to, prepare for the whole package, and naturally there's more to them than just the north-south run game. But when you have the ability to do the north-south run game the way they did against northern Arizona, that's concerning. And, that's something we'll spend time working on and making sure that we're assignment sharp, make sure our fits are good and our run defense. And, it really just forces you to be extremely assignment sharp. And we like to do that too on our offense. So, if you can get the run game going to the extent that South Dakota did against northern Arizona, you're going to have a lot of success on the night. So that'll be our biggest key, is trying to slow it down and try to force them into a few more passing situations, which if we can achieve that, then we give ourselves a better chance.
Thanks, Dale.
Your next question comes from the line of Todd Hefferman, Southern Illinois newspaper.
Hey, Dale, I don't know how much you played him necessarily, but you've known Joe for a long time. Do you remember what the best part about his great teams at Northern Colorado and Montana? I know they scored a lot of points, but do you remember what really made them great?
Well, they were all around very well balanced, offense, special teams, defense. Mike Bresky was his defensive coordinator all those years, and I've got to know him when they were out at Wyoming. In fact, I've gone to visit Joe when he was at Wyoming, and just kind of pick his brain with his coaching philosophies, and his staff has always been very good to me and the coaches that have been with me. So, there's a tremendous amount of respect that I have for him and his staff, and some of his coaches I saw as players. So it's kind of unique, and again, this is unique to me probably only because everyone else here, they really don't know what to expect with USD coming to town, and we're on my end of it. I've been seeing it for a while, and it's kind of nice to see it, but I also respect the heck out of it, so it's going to be a challenge.
Thanks.
Now, that was your final question. Thank you for your time. Good luck against the Coyotes on Saturday.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Right. And we do welcome now the head coach of South Dakota. Joe Glenn is on the line with us. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Tell us about Southern Illinois. What do you see? You haven't played before. What do you see when you look at Southern Illinois on film?
Well, they're very athletic, very well coached, and got it going. A very, very good football team. I can see why they're nationally ranked. Their quarterback's been a blessing. I think he's really doing a good job for them, and driving the train. And they can run it, they can throw it. Certainly, the tight end is one of the better tight ends in the nation at any level. And we're going to have to try and figure out how to deal with that guy a little bit. And defensively, I love their team defense. I think they're all good athletes. They can all run. They can all tackle well. You just like the way they're coached. I can feel Coach Brennan's handprint there, and no one understands. Many times we've gone against each other. He's always had a great defense, and so So that's what we're expecting. Kicking game is solid. This guy hits one 75 yards. That's pretty solid. Who's coaching the punters? And it's a road trip. We've got to learn how to win games on the road, and that's a focus for this young program at this conference. And so there's some opportunities here that we have to step up and take advantage of. That you're going to win in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, you're going to have to win it on the road, and yet you got to defend at home. So that's the key.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go ahead and open it up now for some questions for you from the media. Questions for Coach Joe Glenn.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Your first question comes from the line of Gary, Argus Media.
Hey, Joe. How about injuries this week? Got everybody healed up and ready to go?
We're getting closer. Quarterback's still not going to play. And we knew that when he broke his thumb against Oregon. They said about 6 weeks, and that looks like that's going to be about right. Maybe another week or two before Kevin Earl gets back. But we've had some good play from our young quarterback, Ryan Sager. He's a guy that's pretty cool. Doesn't get rattled. He actually ran the ball very, very well in our last game. And at Montana, he struggled a little bit, and but he didn't like what he saw against in our last game against Northern Arizona. He pulled it down and ran for over 100 yards. So he's a smart kid. He's a big, strong guy. He can see the field. He gets us in the right place, and we have about everybody. Our nose tackle hasn't played yet this year. He started for us for 2 years, and he is quite ready. But other than that, I think we'll have about everybody ready to go. It's nice to have a week off to heal a little bit, some nagging injuries that most everybody has about midseason. So we should be pretty healthy for this game.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Todd Hefferman, Southern Illinoisans newspaper.
Hey, Coach, you expect Jasper Sanders to play this weekend?
Yes, Jasper will play. He's ready to go. We all got dinged up a little bit in our last game, and but we got enough running backs to go. So, and Jasper he brings a little bit something different for us. He's a little bit faster and quicker than the rest of them, but he can help us in the kicking game as well, and at other positions as well. So we're lucky to have Jasper back. He's a good part of our offense.
Could you tell me what you like about your offensive line right now? You had a lot of guys that started a couple games, and then it looked like one of your newbies was the offensive lineman of the week, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. They really are, and about like anybody else, we want to have balance in our offense, and therefore pretty hard to run the football on a lot of teams, and we made a good effort to do that. And I think a lot of that falls on your offensive line, but it certainly falls on your tight ends, your fullbacks, your wideouts, and it takes a team to move the football on the ground. But with that said, we've got to be a little bit better in the passing game than we were last time out, and we were better in the run on defense than we had been, but got to hold up in the pass as well. So we're going to work hard on throwing the football better and stopping the pass better. And it's got to be an all-around football team. We did a better job in the kicking game in the last game. We had one snafu. We fumbled a punt. Other than that, we were really clean in the kicking game where we weren't at Montana, and that hurt us. We had a couple of bad punts at Montana that just killed us, and then yet we turned the game around really in the fourth quarter, got the momentum back off a great punt down inside the 5-yard line. So got to be clean in all three phases, and there's not much room for error in this conference, as you've heard the other coaches say.
And lastly, could you just watch him on film? How does Tate Willis compare to the return guys you've seen?
He's good. He's really greasy. He's fast. All the above. That guy, we don't want to kick the ball right to him. I don't know where you're going to kick it, but we don't want to kick it right to Tate. He is really good. And number 18, he's making a difference in the field position for him, and that's so critical. If you can win the field position game, you just see it when you got a good returner like Tate. And we hope that, maybe Jasper can do some of those things for us on our special teams as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, that was it for you this morning. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Joining us from Brookings is South Dakota State head coach John Stiglmeyer. The Jackrabbits on the road playing Illinois State in a game featuring two ranked teams. Good morning, Coach.
Hello, Mike.
Let's talk about Illinois State. They are unbeaten. They've only given up 7 points a game so far with their 3 victories. How do you prepare for a team that's at home and playing very well at home?
It's that way, going to be that way every week, I think. They're doing a great job. I expect they're healthy because they've not had to play everybody the whole game and battle to win games, and it's a plus to be in that situation. They do they're really good in the critical areas. I think they're +6 in turnover ratio, and their penalties are in control. They score a bunch of points. They run and pass the ball. But to be honest with you, I'm more impressed with their defense. I think Coach does a great job of those guys playing hard and playing sound, and not giving up big plays, and they're just responding. So it's a good football team.
Thank you, Coach. Let's get to the questions now for you from the media. Questions for Coach John Stiglmeyer.
To ask Coach a question, please press *1. Your first question comes from the line of Ryan Redhart, Bloomington.
Coach? Hey. Coach, I know you've been asked several times about Zach Zenner, but I guess you probably don't get tired of talking about him either. Can you describe his running style and how he's evolved as a player in his time with you? Well, his running style is one of he's not a dancer. He'll make one cut, and then he reaches top speed very fast. And so I would say he's an explosive runner. He runs hard. He'll make a guy miss in the open field, but he does not wiggle. In fact, he slows down when he tries to wiggle. So how has he developed? Through a lot of hard work. He wasn't recruited by the only team that recruited him as a running back. He was recruited as a linebacker by some schools, and it's a real testament to at our level of football, you can become a great football player if you work hard and get close to your God-given ability, and Zach has done that. And I understand he's has some impressive achievements off the field too, as well as a student, and what he plans to do after football. Yeah, he's pre-med with 3.8 something. Just was named to the All-State Good Works team. He's part of our SAC leadership group and Student Athletic Advisory Council. He's really kind of, it's kind of scary. He's kind of perfect. He kind of challenges all of us, to be honest with you. When we talk about schedules and wondering what's best for the players, we go to Zach Zenner and ask him what he thinks, and he's well thought up. He's very humble and thinks about his team. So he's a very special guy. There's a reason guys like this don't come around very often, because they're just so unique and so special. Okay, thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Terry Vandernick, Leader Media.
More Coach, I know you're home from the bye week. You're already back, relatively healthy. The guys that missed the Oshkosh game so far, on track to return?
Yeah, we think we'll have both the tackles back, maybe Kim, the tight end. Mears is back, that was more precautionary. And so, yeah, we feel good about getting some guys back. The bye week came at just the right time, really, in terms of injuries and stuff for us.
And last thing, as you start conference play here, so many ranked teams, and it looks like such a treacherous path for everybody. In that regard, in your opinion, does it matter a bit how things, sort of how the puzzle fits together in terms of, who you play where and when, and maybe injuries, and do you think that stuff in a league that's this competitive sort of genuinely, fight their side? Let's say one team get in the playoffs from another.
I do. I think, really, probably anybody in our league, the way everybody's playing, will have a chance or potential chance to get in the playoffs. I mean, we've all said, every coach has said how tough the league's going to be, and there's no week off. So if you're able to play your best football, ideally, with your best players, I think we underestimate, I know I downplay it, but we underestimate losing the guy that is really special in your program and not having him for 2-3 weeks, and how that can impact your program. And ideally it doesn't, but I think it does when you look over, the history of those types of things happening. And where you play the team, surely there's some places that their crowd is worth some points. I mean, there's some tough environments that you play in, that it's hard on your team. It's just different. So I think there are a lot of things come into play. Who's going to end up on the top at the end here?
Thanks.
You bet.
Dave, that was your final question. Thank you for your time this morning. Good luck at Illinois State on Saturday.
Thanks, Mike. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye. Chris Kleiman of North Dakota State joins us now. The Bison heading off to Western Illinois. The game is our MVFC television game of the week. And Bison are ranked number 1 and sitting at 4-0. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Mike. How are you doing?
Good. Talk about Western Illinois. Tell us what you see when you're looking at them on film, and how do you get a win in Macomb?
Well, obviously it's going to be a tough road game for us. They have played well early in the season. I don't think they played as well as they wanted to play last week at Southern, but Southern had something to do with that. But watching them against Northwestern and Wisconsin, they really played well and showed some things that I know have us really concerned. It's as everybody's talked, we've got to come into Macomb and have our A game, or we'll get knocked off. And we're excited about starting Valley play, and looking forward to a heck of a challenge heading down to Macomb.
Thanks, Coach. Let's get some questions now for you from the media. Questions for Coach Chris Kleiman.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Again, to ask Coach a question, please press star 1.
Coach, an easy week for you this week. I want to appreciate your time, and good luck in Macomb. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, bye-bye. Jerry Allen on Missouri State joins us. The Bears playing host to Youngstown State. Both teams ranked in the national polls. Youngstown State at 3-1, as is Missouri State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Mike. Let's do that again.
I can't control the meeting.
We're on schedule now.
All right, we are on schedule. Well, what do you see when you look at Youngstown State as they come to town?
Oh, they're a good football team. There's no question about it. It's kind of funny. We haven't played them in a couple of years because they are off the rotation, but we've seen them the last couple of years a bunch on tape, and Eric's done a very good job with them. It should be a great football game. I think all the coaches are talking about it. It's fun to get into league play, and let's go see what happens.
Thank you, TA. Let's go ahead and open it up now for questions for you from the media.
To ask Coach a question, please press star 1. Your first question comes from the line of Wendell Scranton, Springfield News Leader.
Terry, you've outscored people 88-33 in the second half this season. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think that in some of those cases we've been able to wear some people down. We're pretty good up front offensively, and that makes a difference for us. So hopefully we can continue to do that. But when you get in the league play, anything can happen.
Well, the halftime adjustments play any factor in that as well?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that Coach Criswell's been around this league a bunch, and I should say this league. He's been a coordinator for a long time, so he's made some nice adjustments offensively, and our defense has played better in the second half also. So all that fits.
And I guess on the flip side is you'd probably like to get off to a better start in the first half of games.
Exactly.
What do you know? Any ideas there of how to jumpstart maybe the first quarter of games?
Well, we tried to get that done last week, and we took the ball on the opening drive and went down and actually got into their side of the 50 and punted away, and they go 90 yards in the first play. So that kind of backs you up a little bit. But I think sometimes it's a 60-minute game, Wendell, and obviously you'd like to start fast, but just as long as you're finishing strong, that really helps.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Your next question comes from the line of Jeff Kopak, Fargo Forum.
Hey, Terry, there's more teams ranked this week than there used to be teams in the old Gateway, if you remember those days.
I certainly do. It's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple things. One, you find that interesting or ironic, and two, how has this league changed from those 90s kind of times?
I'm sorry, the question, Jeff.
Yeah, first of all, you find that a little ironic. There's more teams ranked than there used to be teams in the Gateway. Your thoughts on that concept?
Sure. Well, I've said all along, the the Valley's just gotten better and better, and it's a lot more difficult task now to go through this league than it was 20 years ago because of the number of teams, but really the caliber of the teams.
And how has it changed as far as the caliber of teams, or just from the 90s?
Well, back in the 90s, our teams, when we play up, we would hope to survive. Now we hope to win.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was it. Good luck against Youngstown State this week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Mike. See you.
All right, see you. This does wrap up this week's call. Appreciate everybody's participation.
Thank you for joining today's call. You may now disconnect.